Trying to make sure we're live here. Because if we're not, oh, there we go. Not, okay, there we go. Go. All right, so we're live. Let me just pop on Instagram and update everybody that we are live, and then we'll get started. All right. So I'm going to give you guys some examples of what we're going to be talking about today. And then we will get started kind of breaking that down, and I'll show you how I do that. All right. Right now, everybody on Instagram knows we're live now. Okay. So, the reason that I am talking about Photoshop specifically is only because Photoshop is what I've been using for the past over 10 years now. And I know that there's a bunch of other software programs out there. I know Canva is the one that I hear of most often that people will use. And from what I hear, it has a lot of similar capabilities. So the only reason that I'm using Photoshop is because that's what I use. I do not use Canva. I don't know anything about Canva. I don't use anything else just because Photoshop does everything I need it to do. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay. Oh, also, I wanted to share with you guys this first. I have there's a little chat here. So if you guys want to type in any questions, I have it pulled up to the side of my screen so I can see it if you guys have any questions on that. And then let's share Photoshop. All right. So I have Photoshop pulled up here for you. So here are some examples of what I have created in the past for clients as well as for myself. So this is for a client. This is the same client, and actually she didn't even ask me to do this, but she had mentioned that she wanted to redo her exterior, and so I needed to take a stab at it because it's made my eyes bleed. And then here's another example. So this was a client, and we were just coming up with a bunch of different ideas for kind of like a little statement wall here, wallpaper situation. Again, this was super simple. She just wanted to see what this would look like with wainscoting that was painted. So you can see I brought in like a wainscoting and then just added the color on top of it there. This one was kind of like a built-in situation. So you can see. And then here's a mood board example. And then this is a little bit of a more simple, kind of just a single element in a room, not a full room. Just kind of seeing what the fireplace would look like, changed up a little bit. So I can get into how to do that. So I am going to show you guys. So this is actually a little peek at the one room challenge room that I'm going to be doing. And I think I probably shared this when I was talking about this class. I shared a little peek of this. So this is the image of the actual space as it is now. And then this is what I put together for the after. This is not only an example. So we kind of needed to get some landlord approval on this project. And also, because this is one room challenge, I'm trying to get some of these elements sponsored. So I wanted to have a, something that sponsors could see of like this, this is kind of the transformation that we're looking at. So I can get some of these elements sponsored. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to work on, actually, before I get started on this, I wanted to show you, like for this one, for example, kind of how this is built. So each one of these, like you can see over here, each one of these is like a different layer. They're all individual pieces that I've popped on here. And see this one over here, we've got the railing changed out. These are individual pictures. I also have each one of these plants is an individual thing. These cabinets, those were added in. And actually, another thing that I want to share with you guys is sometimes it can be really difficult to get like a nice clean image of the space without furniture in it or whatever. And if you have access, this is something, and sometimes I'll do this for clients too, where like, obviously their space, they want to change it. But it's hard to get kind of to work with your space in the mock-up situation if there's already stuff in it. So what I will do sometimes is go and see if their listing photos are still up, like on Zillow. You can see down here, this is just a listing photo of their house from before they bought it. And these sometimes they'll be staged, but even if they are staged, it's often a little less, built out with furniture. It's a little bit more simplistic. So it makes it easier for building off of, white walls, simple, no furniture. So that's a little trick that I do. And they're also usually kind of nice wide angle shots, so you get a shot of the whole space. So this is everything put in there. I also, added on some ceiling beams, some ceiling paneling. This whole kind of built-in little situation over here. Let's see, where is that? Oh yeah, see, that's the old railing. All right. Oh, here we go. We got furniture here, couch, the chair. Oh, there you go. There's your built-in table, tree, rug. So you can see that each one of these elements in here is individually popped in there. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, this one was fun. And these were, I'll show you how to do this, is just changing the color. And then stuff like this I'll pull in from like Google. So for example, before. So for this space, sometimes what I'll do is, I think I already did it to this space, but if like in the original photo, this part down here was a little bit, it was a little bit dark and I wanted to lighten it up. So what you can do is you can go over to your little lasso tool here and click and hold and it'll open up these little options. And I like to use the polygonal lasso tool, and you just click. I use this tool all the time for this stuff, you guys. Click, click, and you just kind of follow to select the area on your image that you want to edit. So I want to edit this bottom part of the original photo before I start doing anything else. So I'm going to take that, and then I will go to image. I will adjust, and then I'm going to adjust let's adjust the curves. I'm just gonna, you can see if I'm bringing up the curves. I don't want to bring it up too high because then it starts getting a little gross. And then you can kind of play around the contrast there. So that I'll just brighten this bottom part up just a little bit so that it's easier to see the colors. So let's start with just changing the color on something. So like you're seeing here, you know, I want these cabinets to be green. So what I will do is go in and select. This might not be super clean, so I'm gonna try to do it faster for you guys. And like stuff like this junk on top of the fridge, I just don't care really. I'm not gonna work that hard to, you know, get rid of that because it's not that consequential. So we're just gonna select, and then I'm gonna show you guys, we can select all of these cabinets at the same time. So you can see this is selected. And I can go in and select these bottom cabinets. So I'm gonna click shift, I'm gonna click and hold shift, and you can see a little plus sign shows up next to my selection tool. And now I can go ahead and add on these bottom cabinets. I'm not gonna worry about including the appliances there because I'm just gonna delete that part of this selection anyways. But you could go ahead and do each of these little sections of cabinetry individually if you wanted with this selection tool and the little plus. So now I have all of this selected. So what I'm going to do is create down here, this little plus box is a new layer. Drop down videos aren't, or okay, drop down menus. Okay, let me go and change how I'm sharing my screen actually, because that is important. I'm just going to share my entire screen. Okay. Yes. Share. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Now you should be able to see the drop-down menus up here. Okay. So created a new little layer down here. Whoa, what was that? It's like mega click. Okay. You can see down here this little plus sign that creates a new layer. So now this layer is empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into where is it? This is a different computer than I usually use. Where are you? Where is my paint bucket tool? Oh, there it is. My Photoshop on this computer is not set up exactly. So then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to pick, we'll just do green like we did on that other one. And we're going to drop this color, and it's going to pop the color onto everything. Again, we're going to get rid of those cabinet or the appliances in a sec. Why are you showing? Go away. There we go. Now we can get rid of the selection because we don't have to worry about that. And you can see, obviously, this looks dumb. We want to change how this layer shows up. We want it to be a little bit see-through. So you go over here. This is showing you kind of how your layer shows up. And as you kind of slide through them, you can see it'll change how the layer is appearing on the cabinets. I will usually do multiply or like screen or overlay. It kind of just depends. I'm gonna do overlay, and then you can mess around with the color to kind of get the exact kind of color that you want. Here, I'm gonna get rid of these. So I'm just using that same polygonal lasso tool, and then just click delete. And then these are not getting colored. Okay. And then sometimes too, what just works is just having it be normal and changing the opacity. So sometimes that works too. And sometimes, you know, it's like a blend of the two, multiply and and obviously this is a little bit difficult if you have dark cabinets and you're trying to go light. So if we're doing, oops, go away. If you're trying to make the cabinets white, it's not going to do that. So when you're lightening cabinets, it's a little more difficult, and you might have to go in and do the cabinets in a different way than this. You might have to like bring in cabinets from like the internet. You might have to bring them in separately. What am I doing here? There we go. Okay. Let me just get these looking a little bit better. I'm like trying to remember how I did these cabinets. We'll just ignore the cabinets for now, because I want to show you how to bring in like tile. So what I will do is, not you. I'm gonna go to, let's go to re-add tile. So sometimes you can just like grab from like Google, and then sometimes it's nice to go to like the exact tile company that you want to use. So I will go here. What tile should we use? I want to use this. And then sometimes you can pull and drag into Photoshop, but sometimes it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, I have to screen grab, which again on this computer is a little fussy because I don't use this computer and the keyboard is messed up. So maybe we'll just do it a little easier. Let's go to Google. Find an image I don't have to screen grab. Let's do white textile. And then just go to images, find something I like. Let's do this guy, and we'll pull him in to Photoshop. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why. Just let me steal your image. Please? No. Okay. Why will you not do that? I probably should have just pulled. I wanted to show you guys how to do this, but I realized on this computer, my hotkeys are not the same as my laptop. Let me screen grab. Okay, let me. Okay. Pinterest works best. This is another place that is sometimes Google searches is a little not precise. You get like a weird. Oh, look, there's my kitchen. Oh, wait, that's my pin. That's why. Okay. All right, let's use you. Oh my God, is this just gonna take me to a, I just want an image. Pinterest is all like shoppable now, so it makes it a little more difficult. Just wanna, okay, open image in new tab. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now I want to show you, because obviously this little piece of tile here is not going to be, it's not going to cover this whole area. So what we're going to have to do is create a repeat. So we're just going to go bloop, and then we're going to, and so what I'm doing is I'm dragging that layer just to this thing. It just creates a whole new layer. And then we're going to select all of them, create a new layer, and then it's just kind of quick and dirty here. Oops. So now we have this whole big thing here. And we can then take all of these layers, and we're going to right click and we're going to merge them. So now this is one big layer. We're going to ignore that line there. And now what we can do is we can create a whole, we're going to tile from counter to ceiling here. So we're going to take this, and we want to see how it's like not matching the angle of that wall. We want to go into transform, and then we're going to go skew. And then each one of these corners we can drag. So I'm going to put this top corner in the corner where I want it to be. And then I'm going to pull this corner. You can't really see where the corner of this is. You kind of guess where it is. And then this one, we want to match this line up with the ceiling. And then we'll match this line up with the top of the counter. And now this is matching the kind of angle of this wall. And then we can go in, actually, edit, transform, skew. So then we can just tweak it a little if it's not feeling quite right. Now what I want to do is cut out that window. So I'm going to take the opacity and drag it down so we can see through, and then go into our little polygonal lasso tool guy there, and we're gonna select this window. Gonna grab the window, and then we're gonna delete, and then we can pull the opacity back up, and you can see the window is cleared out. We're also gonna clear out, because we want to be able to see the light fixture, so that's not hidden behind that layer either. Again, we're just doing this quick and dirty. Bloop. And then maybe just get this little rod. Okay. Now we can take that opacity back all the way up. But, and this is something that will bug me, is, oh, we got to pull out this cabinet here too. The one thing that will bug me is you'll notice that there's no shadows. So it kind of looks weird. It obviously looks like pasted on. So we want to create some shadows on that. so it looks like it fits. So like here you can see there's no shadows in these like corners where there should be. So we're gonna go over to here to our burn and dodge tool. We're gonna grab the burn tool. Let's select highlights and we're gonna make this a little bigger. We want it to have a soft edge. So we want the hardness to be pretty all the way to 0. So, and we want it a little bigger. Okay. And so then we can go in, you can see how that's putting that shadow in there. So we want to create a little shadow. You can layer this up a little. You want to put a shadow down here. Does that make sense? Kind of shadowed. Just like the most shadowed under here. Most shadowed up here. So. Okay. So we've got that. And then we want to put in some, let's see, what do we want to do? We could put in like new flooring, for example. So we can go back to Pinterest. Let's say we want to put in like white oak flooring. Oops, not you. There we go. White oak flooring. Sure, wide plank, why not? And you'll want to grab a photo that's like as open as possible. Let's see. What should we pick? Sometimes Google is better for. Let's try, oops, no, I don't like it. Try this guy. So pull this into Photoshop. Then we can grab the floor kind of where it's nothing's in it. And we're gonna make it a little bigger. And then we're gonna try to tweak it so that it fits. Do the burn tool and skew adjustments live within the layer that it was edited on? They do not. So if you want to edit something, you can go into your history and it's all right here. So if you want to go back on something, like, oh, you know, but it doesn't live on that particular, you can edit each layer individually. But the history is just kind of an overall history, as far as I know. Maybe Photoshop has changed that, but I just use it the only way I know how. Okay, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna edit, we're gonna transform, and then we're gonna skew this. So we are gonna go, we're obviously kind of changing the direction of the flooring here. And this flooring isn't great because it was kind of had an angle to it. It's a little easier to do this if something's just a flat image instead of one that has like a perspective to it from when you grab. And then we can go into this one, take the opacity down, cut out, you know, where the things are. Oops. Ah. Why are you not grabbing? Oh my gosh, this is what you get for working on a computer that you never work on. There we go. Just getting this so it matches up with that toe kick. And then we can pull this back up. And then we're going to go in again and do the same thing with the burning. So we want to bring some just a little shadow there. And then you can also take things from images, like for this one, this is like obviously from an image that it's, you know, taken. It's not from like a product picture, it's from an actual picture. So you can do, and that's just, you just have to cut that out kind of like, so let's see, we can, oops. Grab what, live edge, open. If I can find that exact image. Oh, yep, here it is. So for this, come on. I just really loosely grabbed just the shelving and then pulled it in. Oops, not on you. You want to pull it. Oh, cancel. We want to pull it in on here. And then we're going to make it bigger so it kind of fits. And luckily the angle of this image is pretty close to what we want. And then we can even on this one go into your selection tool, which your magic wand. Where's my magic wand on this? There we are, magic wand tool. And what that will do is grab everything that's like basically the same color, and you can set the tolerance up here so it's relatively high, and then it'll just kind of delete anything. So see, you can see it's grabbing these bowls, so I might want to lower that to, we'll do 10. And this is just an easy way to like delete large swaths of area. And then I can go in, do a little bit more fine tuning with my lasso tool. So just pull out this bottom of this live edge. Oops. Delete. And then you can clean up over here. And if you wanted to be like super precise, you could just get rid of all of that excess stuff using this tool, but it's easier to just use that. And then one of the other things you can do, like this is what I did with this image, is so you can see like, oh, I can see like the messiness on this counter. So I'll just, oh, actually, you can take this is your clone tool right here, and you can get rid of that guy. Oops, no selection. Okay, take your clone tool. I'm gonna want it to be a little bit bigger. And what I'm gonna do, this is a little, so I'm gonna create a new layer. But I want to grab what I'm cloning. So you want to grab what you're cloning from this layer, because I'm going to be cloning this countertop, and then I'm going to put the clone on this layer. So don't worry, it's going to be, and then anytime I want to grab more, we got to go back to that layer and then pop it back on here. Oops, God, what's going on? Grab from this layer, pop it on here. Grab from this layer, put it on here. So obviously this is not what I want it to look like, but because this is a separate layer, and actually I'm going to pull this layer behind the backsplash there. I want to just get rid of all this like messiness here. So I will just grab that edge of the counter and go back up to this layer and delete. And then you can see the countertop there is cleaned up versus having that mess on there. And then I would do that over here. But yeah, so you can see that you can kind of clean it up. You're just pulling from the existing image for that countertop. If I wanted to put a new countertop on here, I could do that too. Let's say I wanted to do a butcher block. Again, this is all kind of like the same. Let's say we want butcher block counters. So I'm using that skew tool a lot on the free transform. See if we can grab something from here that's not going to be fussy. Sometimes you can just grab like this. Open image, new tab. Come on. Photoshop. There we go. So I can just pull this, grab him, pull him over there. And then we're gonna free transform this guy. So we're gonna file, edit, free transform, but we want to skew it just like we skewed this backsplash here. So I'm gonna pull these. So it matches up with your like existing countertop there. So you get the kind of perspective correct. And then we'd go in and make a little edge here. So the edging is correct. I just grab this and new layer via copy. We're just going to copy that little guy there. And then we're also going to transform. We're going to skew this because we want to kind of pull it up to match. I don't know why it's wanting to. Here we go. I'm going to flip this vertical. And then I'm gonna make this a little darker, just so it kind of looks like the edge there. And then you just do the same thing for your other counters over there. But it just gives you kind of like an idea. We could even go over here and kind of darken it up over there so it has some dimension. So that's kind of just your basic. You're just doing a lot of like pulling in your materials, and then you're going in and you're transforming it and you're skewing it so that it matches the shape and perspective of your space. And then when it comes to doing mood boards like this, you know, it's pretty basic. You're kind of doing the same thing, like cutting out shapes. So like, so like I would pull this guy into here, you know, and he can just stay what he is because he's a square. You know, we've got this one here. We're just putting in the examples of what, you know, all of the materials are going to be. And then for stuff like this, like if you want, you know, this is probably an image on a white background. So you can use that tool. So let's say we want to, let's get a faucet. Let's do a kitchen faucet. Images, let's grab something like, just want an image, not a shopping page. Can we grab you? Yes. So we can pull him into here, and you can see we have that white background on there. Don't want the white background. So we'll go to our little, this is our magic wand tool, and you just select the white. It's going to select all the white, and you just delete. Another thing that you can do, which it depends on the image that you might be able to do this with. You can see right here, this button says contiguous. So that's just going to click only all of the white that's in that one, you know, that's all connected. If you want to like select all of that color in the entire image, now you can delete that. But you can see what it did here is it deleted these highlights in the Chrome. So I usually don't do that, especially if I notice there's some white highlights on the material that I need. So like for this white bathtub, I definitely wouldn't want to do contiguous because it would probably pull out some of these white pieces. And you can even get real, you can get real granular if you want. You can go in and delete all these little loop-de-loos here. Oh, it's deleting. And this helps for when you're wanting to then pull this, like arrange your little mood board. So if I wanted to like arrange this kind of like over here, so it's kind of overlapping. And then at least it's not like you can kind of see everything and it's nicely arranged. So yeah, all of these are individual layers that have been pulled in. And then I'll usually on my mood boards bring in like a Pinterest picture or something. So like something that I want for my space, or like if a client wants something, they can, you know, give me their Pinterest board. And then so I'll like grab an image or two and pull those in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For stuff like this, sometimes you can even use the existing image. So she had this TV and it was like way too big. So then what I did, because she just wanted this smaller TV, boop, boop, boop. So instead of like looking for a TV online to put on there, all I had to do was go in here and select the existing TV and create a new layer. So you go bloop, 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 and then you go, what are we doing? Layer, new layer via copy. So then we have that new TV, and then we can play around with it. Oh my gosh, no, we don't have a new TV because it wasn't on the right layer. You want to make sure you're on the right layer. So here, background, select layer, new layer via copy. Now we have a new TV that we can mess around with. So if we want that new TV, All right, you're too big. Then again, we go into edit, transform, skew, and we can make you smaller and make you fit this space better. So you're just kind of messing around with the existing elements in the space. And we also did that for this. So I don't think I have that. I don't have the complete original photo on this one. But you can see this is all desaturated. So she just wanted to see what this would look like. It was all brass. So we just went in with our little polygonal lasso tool here, and you can grab anything. So let's make this floor. Maybe we don't want this floor to be like quite as, maybe we want it to be a little bit more of a different color. We can go over here and then adjust things. So like, we want to adjust it to be a little more of like a cherry color. So we can adjust the hue. And I usually don't mess around too much with the hue just because it only takes a little bit. So see, we're warming it up a little bit to the red side. And you can also adjust the saturation. So it's like, oh, we want it to be like super saturated, but you don't. So you can edit it to be a little bit less saturated. You can also edit the lightness. Okay, we want some like darker wood flooring there. And then you can also go in kind of that same, go to adjustments, but instead of hue saturation, we're going to color balance. And maybe I like it, but I want it like a little warmer. So I'm going to adjust it. So I'm going to add some yellow. Add a little bit of red, add a little yellow. And then you're like, that's just feeling a little too saturated. You go back in to there and dial down the saturation. So now like we're not like even putting anything over that. We're just editing the existing floor. And I'll usually do these edits before I start editing. I'll create a new layer. That way it's not on the background photo. So then if I don't like it, I can go back and change. So what I would have done is after I did this step right here where I did the lasso tool, I would just create a new layer. So I'd go layer, new, layer via copy. And then I would start doing all of those edits. That way I'm not messing with the background photo. And then I can, toggle that layer on and off if I want to. So like this one, I wanted the fireplace to be black. So I desaturated the background image and then added this black on top of it. And then you can even, once you do that, you can, like, oh, I don't want it true black. Maybe I want it more of a charcoal. You can dial that back. And so that's another thing that you can do when it comes to cabinets. So remember we were messing around with these cabinets. It wasn't quite looking right. So then what we can do, and instead of going through the whole selection thing again, I can just go to this guy, my magic wand tool. And I'm just going to select on this layer, which is only the cabinets. If I select everything else, so I'm selecting the not cabinets. Right now it's not cabinets is selected. So what I want to do is only select the opposite of that. So I can go to select inverse, and now only the cabinets are selected again. So that's just on this layer. And then what I can go to is keep that same selection, go back to the background. I'm going to create a new layer. So I can edit only that layer. And then we're going to go in here. We're going to mess around with the, we're going to adjust some things. We're going to adjust the color. Let's see what we can do back here. And let's actually pull off this. Ooh, look, they're purple. These are like Shavanda's cabinets. Ooh. Oh, eggplant cabinets? Oh my gosh. So we're going in here, we're editing, let's see, layer, image, adjustments, hue saturation. So we're messing around with the hue. We got blue cabinets, we got green cabinets. All the way on this end, what do we got? We have some different kind of green cabinets. So this is, we're editing the actual image. So these are the actual cabinets. This isn't the like color that we popped on top of it. So this might make it easier for that green. Yes, yes, there we go. To really get that color right. So it's a lot of like messing around depending on the you know, the image that you're given, what's available. Again, the where was that statement wall? Nope, 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 nope. Where are you? Living room concept. So like images like this, it's really nice to edit because, you know, everything's usually like super well lit and kind of even lighting, and you don't have to deal with excess junk in the space that you have to edit around. So then like things like this wall right here, that's kind of that same thing where, here, we'll get rid of all of these guys. And we'll go ahead, we can change. So we've got this wall, and say I want this wall to be, I want to test out a couple different colors. So I'm like, black, love it. You know, we love a black wall moment. So, but what I want to do, I want it different. So I'm using this little, my magic wand tool. I'm just going to select that. And then I'm going to create a new layer. And now I can say, oh, I want to try a green wall. And we can look on here and we can see what I had put on there, multiply. So I'm going to multiply this. And then you can see what that does is it gives me this, it's kind of see-through. So it gives me the shading. I don't have to go in there and do that shading that I'll sometimes do. And then even if this green is like, oh, that green, it's not quite the right tone or shade, I can go into my hue and saturation. Maybe I want it to be like a little bit desaturated of a green. Like, ooh, yeah, that's feeling good. Nice and velvety. This one, it's not gonna make it more saturated, but it will lighten it up. So now we've got like a off-white, greenish gray. We can darken it up. And then we can also go into, what am I doing? Oh, we're going into color balance. If I want it to be like more of a yellow green, more of a blue green, I've got like a navy here, like a teal. And so you can mess around with these sliders and really dial in that color that you want. So that's just a couple different ways that you can edit colors, like paints on walls. I'm always doing this on walls to see like what colors I want. And then really what it comes down to at that point is then you have to kind of like get your paint samples and match what you did in Photoshop, because obviously this isn't going to tell me like, oh, this is bare such and such color. I have to use now my eyeballs to color match to what I created in Photoshop. But it gives you kind of like a general idea of you know, where you want to go. And then I'll show you what I did for this. So this is that same thing where this is just the lasso tool. And we've just selected just this red. And we're not worrying about the window, because what you can actually do is, remember how we were adding shapes? So I can have this little plus mark. You can also erase shapes too, if you want to do this all at once. So now I'm just gonna, it'll only select the red. So it's gonna delete this part from the area. So now just this red part is selected. I can create a new layer, and we'll just pop black on there. Make it easy. And so now it's all black. We can see, let's see, what are our other layers? They're probably multiply. So we're going to, let's see, multiply you. We're going to take the opacity down. Oh, you see, we don't want to do that because then it's pulling the red. What did you do? Normal, 100%? Oh, I know what I did. So for this, I created a new layer. New layer. Oh, wait, no, cancel. I'm going to create a new layer from the background. Oh my God, new layer. Okay. Here's my new layer. Oh my goodness, you guys. Layer, new layer via copy. There we go. And so now I'm working with this guy. And we're going to do that same thing. We're going to desaturate him. So we're going to go to edit, no, image, adjustments, hue saturation, and we're going to desaturate it all the way and darken it with the lightness. And that's probably how I did that. And then these right here are added. So these were pulled from like Pinterest or something. These wood things I probably looked up, like outdoor wood slat siding or something, and then pulled that in, cut out the windows, cut out the garage door. The garage doors are actually also edited in because you can see they were kind of these old style classic garage doors. Where are you, garage doors? There you are. So I probably just Googled like modern, you know, glass garage doors, and then you just pull that in. So I don't know if you guys have any questions. We didn't talk too much about mood boards. I feel like they're relatively straightforward, but again, you're just doing that same thing where you're kind of deleting the background on these images that have white backgrounds so you can play around with them a little more freely. I think this rug probably had a white background, and you just select it and you delete the white background. And it makes it really easy to layer things in kind of a pretty way. If you have product images like this one, where, you know, the background isn't clear, isn't see-through, or isn't white, you're kind of stuck with dealing with that, which is why this is on here as just the image that was pulled from the product page. And then, like I was saying, it's annoying because my keyboard on this computer is messed up, so I don't have my hotkeys, and so screen grabbing things was a little more annoying. But like, you know, if I can't just like grab and drag that image into Photoshop, I can always screen grab it and then pull it into Photoshop. So that's also an option. I just don't want to have to mess around with figuring out how to get my keyboard on this computer to do that easily. So I am going to, oh, discount. Thank you. Where are we? Go back into, where are you guys? Okay, stop sharing. There we go. There we go. Like, where are you guys? I lost you guys. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about anything that I did, I know some of that was like a little bit fast. And again, it was a little annoying with not being able to screen grab stuff, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can pop it in the chat, or you can message me on Instagram or anywhere and ask me, and I will get back to you. I hope this was helpful. If not, let me know what I did not teach you, and maybe we'll do instead of a 101, we'll do a 102 class. Thank you guys for joining. Oh, look, we're right at an hour. Perfect. So I'm gonna sign off, and let you guys get back to your day. And then I think that I should be able to save this so you guys can refer back to it at any point. And if you want to go through it, you can skip all the parts where I'm just messing around trying to find things on Pinterest and Google. Yeah, thank you guys for coming, and it was great chatting with y'all. Bye.